Hello movie lovers, welcome to my channel. Today is all about fresh cinema experiences. Sit back and relax, and let's dive into the recap of this exciting cinematic adventure. The story takes place 4 years after Busan. Now Busan has fallen too. The whole of Korea is in a state of total anarchy and chaos due to the zombie virus. Our protagonist, Jong-suk, is a soldier. On this day, he is driving his sister's family to the last departing cruise ship. On the way, a woman with a child in her arms stopped the car and wanted Jong-suk to take them, but Jong-suk turned her down mercilessly. They arrived at the pier. Jong-suk boarded the cruise ship and was placed in the cabin. Inside the cabin, a man is not quite normal because a normal person can't do such a twisted position. It was an infected person who got mixed up in the cabin. When Jong-suk returned to the cabin, there was blood everywhere. He came to his sister's place after taking care of the zombies. People here have been bitten by zombies. Jong-suk's little nephew was also bitten. His mother hugged him anxiously. She was so scared that she couldn't speak. At this point, the person bitten will immediately become a zombie. Jong-suk rushed to pull his sister to escape, but his sister did not want to give up her son. At that moment, his brother-in-law, Jamin, also returned. The two of them watched in pain as a large group of zombies jumped on Jong-suk's sister. The camera turns. It is 4 years later. Jong-suk and Jamin fled to Hong Kong on a cruise ship, but their life here is not so good due to the guilt of his sister's death. He has been living in pain. On the one hand, Jamin complained that Jong-suk did not do his best to save his sister. On the other hand, he was disliked by the locals. One day, a gangster approached Jong-suk. They want Jong-suk to go back to Korea and get the money from the truck. Now, Korea is a zombie paradise. The zombies are not interested in money. This gang member has found a way to make money. Had his men go to Korea and collect a truckload of dollars, the whole 20 million. When they returned, they were surrounded by zombies. They were all killed. Jong-suk will share half of the carload of dollars if he can get it back. It was Ho-izu who was driving the car. She was driving a cab in the area before the outbreak of the zombie virus. Suddenly, they spotted a truck. Jong-suk got out of the car to check it out. The license plate was not the one they were looking for. At that moment, there was a strange noise in a corner. Jong-suk, who was not afraid to die, went up to check it out. He looked through the night vision scope of his rifle. He was scared to death. The zombies were looking at him hungrily. The group moved on to find the truck. Finally, they found it under an overpass. Someone in the shadows is watching them through binocular dollars. Jamin opened the truck, the bag full of dollars inside. When they got to the driver's side to drive away, a dead driver was found sitting inside the cab. Jamin went up and tried to throw him out of the car. The two vehicles drove on the road. Wesley started to dream of getting rich. Not far from the car got off a person, fired a flare at them. It was blinding in the darkness. The zombies saw the fire and rushed over. They rushed to escape. The army of zombies already blocked the road. Wesu hit some walkers and lost control of the car. The truck behind them couldn't brake. It crashed into them. Jong-suk in the truck was thrown outside by inertia. Wesu was also killed. The other 3 were also injured. The zombies kept coming. Jamin hid inside the truck in a hurry. Jong-suk started to run away. On the way, he met a girl named June. After getting into the car, she got rid of the zombies easily. There was a little girl on the passenger side. June drifted all the way, hitting the zombies as a roadblock. Jong-suk couldn't stand the tossing and turning and out. The car drove under an overpass. Here, a large wave of zombies blocked the road. At that moment, the girl took out a remote control car with light and music. Control the remote control car towards the zombies' drive over. The zombies were attracted by the sound. Immediately pounced on the remote control car, the little girl drifted the car and turned around, leading a large group of zombies to run this way. After the zombies were distracted, at this time the car started. It crashed into a few scattered zombies and rushed out. Jamin sighed. The zombies are still circling around the truck, no intention to leave. At that moment, an exaggerated advertising car drove by. It distracted the group of zombies. Several armored vehicles parked next to it drove out. A group of people got out of the car. They didn't look like good guys. Minhu got out of the cab of the truck and asked them for help, but he was already infected. The leader of the group came up to him. They killed him directly. Then they got into the truck and left. Jamin, inside the truck, didn't know what was going on outside. He was also taken away. Jong-suk woke up. An old man appeared in front of him. This is Jun's grandfather. At that moment, a woman approached. Jong-suk recognized her right away. Her name is Min Jing. It was the woman who met them on the road and asked for help. He survived the apocalyptic environment with his daughter. They took Jong-suk in. The old man had a radio. He had been sending messages to the outside world for help. Jamin was taken to a camp by the group. The group was called Unit 631. They were originally a regular unit. But after the outbreak of the zombie virus, this place has become an isolated island. They were left behind, so they became zombie hunters. The leader of the territory is the man in front of him, Captain Su. He was tired of this life and was about to commit suicide. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. One of his men brought him a bottle of foreign wine. Captain Su looked at the wine and didn't want to die. From the mouth of his man he learned about the truck. He went to the truck and found the satellite phone while he was fiddling with it. The phone rang. The call was from the man on the ship. When the people on the ship heard that it wasn't Jong-suk, they said that whoever it was, they could leave the place if they delivered the money and get the same reward. When Captain and Su heard that he could get out of here, he agreed to do so. Jong-suk's side thought Jamin had been killed. They decided to grab the truck after dark and drive it to the port to board the ship. Jong-suk fell asleep, and it was dusk when he woke up. Then they packed up their things, grabbed a weapon and drive off. They were going to sneak into the camp and steal the truck. Tell June to wait for them in the car. They went through a secret passage to the main camp of Unit 631. They escaped from here in the first place. Jong-suk and Min Jing had arrived at the truck. When they were about to drive away, Captain Su's men arrived here as well. Min Jing hid in the cab and put a gun to his head. Then 2 guards saw him. They asked him why he didn't go to the show. He found a random excuse to pass it off. Then the guards told him the man caught in truck was very brave in the Colosseum. When Jong-suk heard this, he realized that Jamin was still alive, so he rushed to save Jamin. After Jong-suk left, Captain Su is coming. He seems to be an old acquaintance with Min Jing, but he suddenly pulled out a pistol and shot at Min Jing. Min Jing drove the truck in reverse, knocking him to the ground. A satellite phone was recovered from his body. Jamin continues his close encounter with the zombies in the Colosseum. A zombie screams and lunges at Jamin. At this point, the zombie was killed. Jong-suk arrives. He took out all the zombies here. Jong-suk then threw a smoke bomb. He got Jamin out of there. On their way to escape, they encountered soldiers who stopped them. Soldiers fire wildly at Jong-suk. Jong-suk rushed to the side and hid. At that moment, a zombie jumped at Jong-suk. Jamin picked up the rifle on the ground. He fired wildly at the approaching soldier. Then he threw the gun at Jong-suk. Jong-suk took the gun and finished the zombie. At that moment, Sergeant Kim, who was hiding, shot at Jamin. Jamin was killed in this way while Jong-suk was fighting with other soldiers. Sergeant Kim quietly turns the gun on him again as he was about to shoot. Min Jing rushed in with truck. Jong-suk's truck was stopped by a group of zombies on the road. A large number of zombies surrounded the front of the truck. They were about to become the food of the zombies. At that moment, June drove car and pulled up not far away. The blinding light attracts all the zombies. Min Jing also drove his truck through the zombies at this time and rushed past. The old man in the truck lit fireworks to attract the zombies. The 2 cars headed for the port. At that moment, Sergeant Kim's convoy caught up with them. They fired flares into the sky, attracting the attention of the zombies. Jong-suk was surrounded. The car drove under the overpass. Jong-suk fired at the glass. The zombies broke through the glass. Sergeant Kim's car failed to brake, crashed directly into the pile of zombies. The car could not be driven backward. Sergeant Kim was overwhelmed by zombies. After Jong-suk got rid of Sergeant Kim, took up the satellite phone to contact the ship at the port. Just as they reached the ship, Captain Sue drove his car and crashed into the June's car. He pulled June out of the car and held her hostage. Captain Sue's excited greeting the gangsters, however, just killed him. In fact, no matter who was in the truck, the gangsters planned to kill them all. Captain Sue put the truck into neutral with his last breath. The truck slipped out of the cabin and got stuck in the door panel. At that moment, a large number of zombies came towards the ship. On the other hand, the injured old man is dying. At that moment, the sound of a helicopter. The little girl rushed to launch fireworks into the sky. She managed to attract the helicopter's attention. Jong-suk ran towards the helicopter with a little girl in his arms. The zombies were attracted by the fireworks and came from all directions, but there were too many zombies. Min-jing climbed into a truck and honked the car horn as hard as he could. The zombies heard the sound and were attracted to. Jong-suk finally arrived near the helicopter with the two children. The girl begged the rescue team to save her mother, but the rescuers did nothing. Min-jing, who was inside the truck, decided to commit suicide because he didn't want to drag them down. At that moment, Jong-suk rushed forward with his gun. When she heard the gunshot, her hope for survival was raised. She fired wildly at the zombies. Jong-suk came to meet her, throwing smoke bombs. They eventually burst out of the smoke. They escaped and a helicopter came from the air. And the movie ends here. Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed this film recap and want more, subscribe now, like and share captivating stories with your friends. Tell me which movie you'd like me to summarize next.